In today's project diary, I will show you how I naturally fix my acid reflux problems without using medication. But if you're trying this at home, please check with a healthcare professional first, just in case you have some more serious underlying health conditions.
Hi and welcome to Project Diaries. Now today I want to tell you a little story about acid reflux. Now let me know if this rings true to you. Now usually you eat whatever you want and then sometimes your stomach doesn't agree with it and you either get heartburn or you get some kind of uncomfortable feeling here and it's the acid coming up from your stomach. That then persists. You then start doing, over-the-counter things like Tums or Rennie. This is an alkaline chalky kind of pill that you eat and that then caps the acidity. But over time it seems to be getting worse and worse, so you then go and see your doctor. They then prescribe some kind of Pepto-Bismol kind of even more stronger alkaline kind of liquid that you then drink, and that seems to be fine, but then you have to have it after every meal because your stomach's getting worse and worse and you're wondering why. So you go back to the doctor, they then give you something called lansoprazole.
Now you might not get lansoprazole, it might be other medications ending in prazole, but here's a list of side effects you might get while taking this medication. Headaches, gas, bloating, feeling sick, itchy skin and rashes, diarrhea, dizziness, tiredness, vomiting, dry mouth and throat, stomach pains, joint pain, constipation, an irritation to sun exposure, confusion, a fast or irregular heart rate, watery stool, muscle cramps, weakness, bloody diarrhea or urine, body swelling, jerky muscle movements, restlessness, feeling jittery, seizures and a loss of appetite. Now why would you want all that on top of all the problems you're already experiencing?
But after a time that doesn't work either, and then you get to the point where you're just ripping your hair out because you can't seem to eat anything without getting this horrible feeling, to the point where you're then actually being able to, it's going to be graphic, but you're spitting out kind of acid to a point where you're almost vomiting, if not you are being sick after every meal. Now the reason why this isn't working is because you're having alkaline. Now doctors will only treat the symptoms, they will not treat the cause, and the cause is the fact that your stomach hasn't got enough acid in it in the first place, and this is because your stomach is completely out of balance due to the foods that you're eating. So all you're doing is adding these alkaline chalky based liquids and tablets, and it works for the time being, but once it hits your stomach, the alkalinity of that then dilutes the acid in your stomach again, and you're constantly in this cycle of taking medication or whatever after your meals. Now all you need to do is up the acidity in your stomach to really help you digest the food.
Now I've managed to come off 17 different medications just by changing my diet and lifestyle. But previously I thought everything could be cured from a pill from my doctor, but this wasn't the case. My symptoms just got worse. Many medications like antibiotics actually kill off healthy gut bacteria, causing many digestive issues during and after taking these medications. But there are many foods that you can eat that cause these natural gut biome imbalances. Now 10 out of 10 people that I've asked about fixing acid reflux have all turned to oranges and citrus. But these are actually reflux triggers and can irritate your stomach. And even orange juice can increase acid reflux. So you want to avoid high consumption of these wherever you can, especially on an empty stomach. Now the acidity of cow's milk is said to help with stomach issues, but the high fat content in cow's milk can play a problem in your stomach, as it takes longer to break down. But high consumptions of dairy, much like citrus, can also relax the esophageal sphincter. This is the gateway that stops acid coming back up into your throat, and not to mention many people are now having stomach issues with lactose intolerance. You also want to avoid high triggers like coffee, tea, or anything high caffeine including energy drinks. So opt for decaf until you fix your stomach. Obesity can also play a big part in unhealthy gut health, so avoid junk food, processed food and highly fried food as much as you can. These foods will help promote bad gut bacteria within your gut biome, and the sodium and high fat value is really hard for your stomach to break down while your acidity is out. So try to air fry or oven cook without using oil. Now don't have a go at me in the comments, but chocolate is also a no-no. There's 3 bad triggers in this, which is fat, cocoa and caffeine. So if you can, try and eliminate chocolate out of your diet. Now I don't want to be a party pooper, but the same goes for high sugary treats and carbonated drinks. These can cause bloating and discomfort, and the fats and sugars in them promote an unhealthy gut biome. So maybe try an unsweetened decaffeinated iced tea just until you start building those healthy gut bacteria. Alcohol is also really bad at causing acid reflux and stomach issues, and it's also one of the worst things to relax your esophageal sphincter, which is what you really don't want to happen if you want to relieve any acid reflux symptoms. So next time you think those cheeky few pints after work won't hurt, or that shared bottle of Prosecco with the girls over the weekend, just remember it's killing off all the healthy gut bacteria within your stomach, and you're drinking loads of empty calories. Pesticides can also kill off your healthy gut bacteria, So make sure you wash your vegetables thoroughly, buy organic or grow your own using the link on the screen now. Tomatoes are also a reflux trigger, so try and avoid passata, Mariana sauce, tomato soup, ketchups and things like that. Despite these foods being really healthy, they can irritate your stomach while it's bad. Onion was also a huge trigger for me, but red onions are slightly less acidic, and cooking off the rawness in vinegar really helps. But if you have really bad digestive issues, I'd say leave these out as well. Bell peppers and spicy foods are also a really bad trigger for acid reflux, but I've recently read a study that eating chili daily can help over time by numbing and switching off the receptors in your esophagus. But if you stop, your reflux symptoms will return, so it's probably best to avoid spicy foods unless you're a fanatic. So at this point you're probably asking me, well, there's nothing left, what can I eat? Well, oatmeal first thing in the day is really good at relieving those acid reflux symptoms. It's packed full of protein and lots of essential nutrients, and if you're avoiding dairy, you can always use plant milks like oat milk because it keeps it really creamy. Boiled rice is also really good at relieving those acid reflux pains. Obviously avoid fried rice, and if you can, eat brown rice. Brown rice is full of fibre, which your healthy gut bacteria absolutely love and will really help you boost a healthy gut biome because it's a complex carbohydrate. Melons are also great at relieving symptoms such as watermelon, cantaloupe or honeydew, and if you'd like to learn how to grow these from seed, the link is on the screen now. Other non-citrus fruit can also help with symptoms such as bananas and apples, but I personally found that apple skin was also a trigger for acid reflux and indigestion. These foods will starve the unhealthy gut bacteria and help repopulise the natural gut biome.
So let me use this as an example. I'm completely ill prepared, but let's just say that if we had water in this is the water of this is the acidity in your stomach, and then we were going to add something into it. So if the acidity is strong and you add it in, the acid will then break down the food. But if you don't have strong enough acid in your stomach, whenever you drop whatever's in it, it's going to push down on the water and then it's going to overflow. And that's basically what causes the reflux. So the idea is to get really good strong acidity in your stomach, and you're not going to do this with all this alkaline medications or pills that you're taking. You're just basically going to get yourself worse, and you're going to end up constantly taking medication over and over again. But with this simple drink today, it should be able to help you while you're on your journey to a better lifestyle. So the cure is today's video. So let's go into the kitchen and figure out how we can fix this problem in a really simple way of using natural remedies to up the acidity of your stomach. And here's how we do it. So here we are in the kitchen. Now this is a really simple technique. You've probably got this stuff at home, but if you've got stomach ulcers, do not try this. It may flare them up a little bit more and make them worse, but I'll do that in another video. But today we're just focusing on heartburn, indigestion and acid reflux. And the key ingredient is apple cider vinegar. Now this may seem contradictory to say that you shouldn't have citrus or apples, but this is more of a concentrate and it works really well. Now you want to get the organic one, it's non-GMO, and you want to get the one with mother. Now I don't know if you can see on the camera there's lots of sort of pulp and floaty stuff, it's cloudy. Now this has got loads of digestive enzymes in it and it's really going to help your situation. And like I say, this is the key ingredient. Now you can use 1 teaspoon and you can go all the way up to 1 tablespoon per drink, but be careful because it's acidic, it can affect your teeth. So if you drink it, you really want to cleanse the palate afterwards. But you want to try and do 1 teaspoon first, and if it persists, then go up to 1 tablespoon. It's quite an acquired taste. If you like it, then just put 1 teaspoon in some water and swig it back as quickly as possible. Or we can do what we're doing today, and we're going to try and make it a little bit tastier until you get used to the flavours. So let's have a close-up and see what we got. So as I said, the key ingredient is the apple cider vinegar, and just for flavour's sake, we can add some cinnamon. Now you want to add a teaspoon of cinnamon in there. That's going to allow it to taste like apple pie. Hopefully you like that flavour. And we're going to add some ginger. Now ginger is absolutely incredible for digestion. So what we're going to do is just grate that up in a second, and we're going to add mint. Now there is some contradictory information about peppermint and spearmint being irritable for acid reflux, but I'm going to add some mint in for extra flavour because that also helps with digestion. So these two are for digestion. This one also has anti-inflammatory qualities as well as the ginger. So we're trying to reduce the inflammation and we're trying to get the digestion going really well, as well as boosting the acidity with the apple cider vinegar. So let's make the tea.
Now I've also found that reboiling old water can cause irritations to stomach, especially in hard water areas. Now we have very chalky water, so I try to use a filter wherever I can. Now, as I've already fixed my stomach, I'm going to do quite a weak solution today, but as I said, you can use 1 teaspoon and go all the way up to 1 tablespoon if it's bad. A healthy gut biome is something you want to build up over time, so try not to rush into it and throw too much acid at it at the beginning. Now, as I said before, mint can be an irritant, and this is an added option just to make it taste a little bit better. I love mint, so I have it everywhere I can. But if it's something that doesn't agree with you, then you can leave it out. Also, if you want to learn how to grow mint and herbs from cuttings, the link is on the screen now. It's an amazing thing to do at home. You'll also see that I'm trying to break and bruise these leaves. This allows the oils and flavours to come out a little bit more. But this is quite early in the season, so this mint is really tiny. So what I'm going to do is add a mint tea bag later on, but I'll show you that in a second. Now, this mug may look huge, but it's quite misleading. It doesn't hold that much water at all, but I'm just going to pour the boiling water in and allow this mint to steep and turn into a tea. Now, it doesn't really matter how much water you use, but you want to try and keep this as concentrated as possible. Just do it to whatever your flavours or your palate is used to. Then I'm going to add roughly a teaspoon of cinnamon. Like I say, this is amazing for anti-inflammatories. I've been trying to add this in so much of my cooking lately because it's just great. Then I'm just going to give it a quick stir and allow all these flavours to blend in with the water. Now, don't worry if you haven't got a saucer. I'm just going to put it on top of the mug to allow it to steam and try to keep some of the heat in there. The next optional ingredient is fresh ginger. Now, I've been trying to grow ginger for the past 5 years and I've managed to do it this year, so the video's coming soon. So don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already and click the bell notifications so you can see that as soon as I release it. But for this recipe today, you just want to grate around a teaspoon of fresh ginger. Ginger works great for an antibacterial, it's also really soothing, helps regulate blood sugar levels, and is great for digestion, so that's why I'm adding it in today's drink. Once all the ingredients are added, I'm just going to give it a quick stir again, make sure all of that's packed in there lovely, and then I'm going to put the saucer back on top and let it steep for another minute or two. Now, as I said before, it was slightly too early in the season for this mint. The leaves were too small, so what I've done is added mint tea in a reusable tea bag. Now, I've got a video coming soon about tea bags and polypropylene single-use plastics. It seems to be rife with so many different companies, so these reusable tea bags are fantastic as they're made out of cotton. And I'll leave some links in the description box below if you want to get hold of some yourself. Now, I've just noticed lots of humming and really bad sound on today's video, so I'd like to apologise for that. I'm testing out some new microphones, but none of them seem to be as good as the one that was on my phone, so I might have to go back to the old school. So I've now allowed this tea to steep for around 5 minutes and it's pretty much ready to drink. I'm just going to allow it to cool down a bit before I put it in my face. Then once it's steeped for around 5 to 7 minutes, it's ready to drink and hopefully it's not too hot. It should have cooled down by then. And like I say, it is an acquired taste, so if you want to filter the bits out, you can, or you can just drink it however you see fit. It's usually better to drink it as quickly as possible because that will then help your stomach to digest whatever food you've had. You can have this pre-meal or after meal, but hopefully this kind of solution is going to help you get your health back to normal and really help your gut health, especially because it's technically your second brain. So you've got to look after your stomach as much as you look after your own mental health as well. But hopefully this is going to help you. I'm just going to have a sip. Oh, I absolutely love that. Oh, yes. Oh. All those flavours go together so well. But like I say, if you like today's video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And share this with someone if it's going to help them. I'm really trying to help as many people as I can with natural remedies like this. But anyway, that's enough from me today. Happy growing, and I'll see you again next time. If you'd like to keep up to date on all of my future releases, click the subscribe button here. Here are some links to some of my other videos, and if you've tried this or any other project, I'd love to see your progress, so please join my Facebook gardening group where thousands of people are sharing photos and ideas daily. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.